Yummy, just like my ummies. Ummy!
Ayyo, Maksud. Phew! I'm so relieved that my husband loved my Bangla Pal. Now this is made with tender pieces of mutton or lamb and it's simmered in a delicate coriander gravy. Now word on the street is that my mother-in-law makes a mean pal and this is my husband's favorite dish. Now before we get started, make sure that you're subscribed to my channel if you're not subscribed already. Hit the red button. I upload new videos every week, so make sure that you're subscribed so you're the first to see them. Also share it with all of your family and friends. Hit on the little bell icon. That will ensure that you're notified every time a new video gets published. Now, let's get started. The stars of this recipe are the tender chunks of mutton that are simmered in a vibrant and green coriander gravy. Now, I have a large bunch of coriander here, and it's going to yield about 3 cups. Make sure to remove all of the wilted leaves, and I'm just going to pick through these to reserve all of the tender stalks together with the leaves. I'm going to save some of the leaves and the stems for a garnish later. Now, if you're using some of the stems like I am, it's important to make sure to cut these with a scissors or a knife. It makes pureeing this in a food processor a lot easier. Now, a few years ago, I was on a show called Recipe to Riches, and I had to prepare a chutney. I was assigned an assistant and he asked if I wanted to use the stems as well as the leaves. Now, of course I did, but I didn't think to tell him to cut the stalks, and he literally put everything in the blender as is. All the stalks wrapped around the blade, and it was really hard to blend. Now add about 5 to 6 peppercorns to your food processor and follow that with 2 tablespoons each of ginger and garlic paste. I'm also going to throw in 2 green chilies. I just cut these in half. Now these chilies are quite large and they're not as spicy as Thai green chilies. This is roughly about 2 tablespoons. Now let's add all of the coriander and really pack it into your food processor. I'm going to add about a half cup of water just to get this going. Now don't worry, it might seem a little bit slow at first because of the stems, but eventually it's going to grind down into a luscious green paste. Add some oil to your saute pan and heat it up. I've also got some onions that I've sliced and I just want to saute them in the oil till these are nice and brown. Now this is just about a half cup of onions. And it's going to take some time to brown, but eventually they'll be nice and brown, and then you can just take them off the heat. Add the onions to the coriander paste, and let's grind this again. Now seriously, I wish YouTube had a smell feature. The coriander and onions together just smell so amazing. In the same saute pan, and I love to use one pot for my recipes, heat up some more oil and let's just saute the coriander paste. Now there's a raw ginger and garlic paste that I want to get rid of, so I'm just going to saute it till I remove all of that rawness. Oh my God, this coriander aroma is amazing. Now I'm going to add some powdered spices. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons each of turmeric, garam masala, and cumin powder. Now I'm just going to mix it all together and make sure it's well incorporated. Now it's important to use fresh spices. I love to grind my own cumin powder as well as my own garam masala. Taste for salt and add salt as required. Now I have a recipe on my channel for a homemade garam masala. I'm going to leave that link at the end of this video as well as in the description. It really makes such a world of a difference. Now it's time to add the meat. I've got about 2 pounds of bone-in mutton. This meat is so fresh and tender. You can use lamb, goat, or you can even try this recipe with chicken. I'm going to add about a half cup of water just to get this going. Taste for salt and add salt as required. Now cover this and let it cook. This meat is just going to simmer for about 30 to 40 minutes. I'm going to keep stirring it in between, and I'm going to add a little bit of water if it starts to dry up. Now, often, if I'm in a rush, I will transfer this to a pressure cooker. And of course, it'll cook much faster in a pressure cooker. The consistency of the gravy is going to be different. When you cook it in a pressure cooker, what'll happen is there's going to be a lot more liquid in the gravy. And that's totally fine if that's how you want it. But if you want to dry it up, you can just open up your pressure cooker and cook it for a bit longer till that gravy dries up. One of my subscribers wrote in and warned me about using a non-stick spoon. So as suggested, I'm using a wooden spoon. So see, I really do pay attention to your comments. As the time passes, you can see that the gravy is starting to thicken and is taking on quite a bit of a personality from all of the other spices and the meat. I'm not adding anything to this dish, but you can certainly add potatoes if you like. Now I've tested the meat throughout by poking it with the back of my spoon. If it's resistant, it's not done. Now this is really looking good. Take a look at these tender chunks of meat. I'm going to garnish this with some coriander leaves as well as the stems. I love using the stems. They have so much flavor. This is now ready for you to devour. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed this delicious recipe for Bangla Pal. Now you can make this with mutton, lamb, goat, even chicken if you want to. It's really a delicious recipe. Share it with all your family and friends. Also make sure that you're subscribed to my channel. Hit the little bell icon so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. And follow me on all of my social channels. I upload a lot of behind-the-scenes footage to all of my social channels. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, and even Snapchat. Until I see you next time, stay happy, everyone. Bye.